and then the solution at the end given to me wasn't good enough. I don't know if that makes sense.
Engaging with your audience again and again, even if they are not your intended or audience, I think it's a very good way of storytelling till date.
I get you're doing safety, but too safe. So I felt like lost opportunity, man. Like,
Why you hated it so much?
It's just through the phone, going at a hyper speed through the phone, and pieces of content are just getting absorbed just like that. Yeah, I agree.
Uber is very Zomato and Ola is very Swiggy. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'm extremely excited, dude. Knowing Jyoti the way I know him now, he's the most talented guy you will ever come across. Like, this guy has no end to his talents. Like,
Thank you.
he can sing, he can make music, he can swim, he can do free diving,
Oh wow.
he can cook, and I'm forgetting 5 other things.
Student
also
of
like-
life. Student of
Yes.
life. Always learning. That's how I
Yeah.
like.
This is a great platform and experience has been for me, and I'm sure you're gonna have fun too, to sort of review a few ads, meet new people, and just talk the things we don't usually end up talking in the boardrooms, right? Because we have to keep our
Yeah.
mouths
Relate.
shut.
This one is a little bit more, I would say, I don't want to use the word sensitive, but it's like you need to be a little bit more aware of.
जब भी मैं देर रात में निकल रही होती हूँ, मेरा कोई ना कोई दोस्त जरूर बोलता है, ओए कॉल मी, हाँ कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हो तो। क्यों? तू पुलिस कमिश्नर है कि तुझे कॉल लगाया तो डर जाएंगे लोग? आई डोंट थिंक तेरा नाम सुनकर कोई भी हैरासर डिस्करेज होगा कि शिट यार, इसने हरमन को कॉल कर दिया, अब तो वाट है हमारी बॉस, मुझे हेल्प इमीडिएटली चाहिए, मैं तेरी बस आने का वेट नहीं कर सकती हूँ। आई कैन टेल माई हैरासर कि भैया 1 मिनट, अभी जस्ट अंधेरी फास्ट में चढ़ा है वो, फिर तो फटाफट पहुंच जाएगा, प्लीज तब तक रुकिएगा। फिर क्या कॉल करके तुझे डायरेक्शंस दूं कि हाँ सुन, हाईवे से लेफ्ट लेना, वहाँ फ्लाईओवर के जस्ट नीचे तुझे एक व्हाइट वैन दिख रही है, हाँ बस उसी में मुझे उठाने वाले हैं वो लोग, वहाँ मिलती हूँ मैं तुझे, बंधी हुई रहूंगी, थैंक्स। These jokes might be funny, but women's safety isn't.
Yeah, so relatability points, yes. Emotional sensitivity points, definitely. Getting a comedian who is doing well in the circuit. I don't know her name though, so if both of you do, great. But I do think that she is doing well in comedy, so.
If someone insults me, I start blushing because Men's XP's Facebook page said that if he's mean to you, he's into.
Like, very, very conflicting. This was a conflicting ad for me.
For me, I agree with you, Parikshit, because I'm also stemming from the fact that, you know how we come to topicals every year, dreading every Christmas, every Diwali, this Christmas, this Diwali, all that stuff. So I just feel like this is a much more sensitive topic where they've approached it like a topical. It could have been some sort of campaign that ran close to Women's Day or something like that. I like the fact that they are trying to have a message over there, which is appreciated always. But it, like you said, it looks like a misdirection. Hey, look at this. There is a light over here. While you're looking at that, they're doing something else. It's like a Trojan horse from a Greek mythology thing. It's like that. There is only so many years that audiences are going to be okay with that. We're going to need actual solutions rather than just saying stories about solutions.
नहीं, तू समझा नहीं.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
For me, this was interesting. So her name is Shreeja Chaturvedi. I really like her. She's a great comedian. One of the interesting few women in the scene. Like Jyoti definitely said, the new audiences who do not know her might not be able to retain them beyond like 10 seconds at best. It built it up to me to a certain level, and then the solution at the end given to me wasn't good enough. I don't know if that makes sense. But for me today, as a woman, I feel like I would rather trust Parikshit or Jyoti as my friends if I'm outside at 2 a.m. with my live location and 10 other things to immediately call them instead of a stranger number on the app. There was like a really impactful feature that they introduced in my environment. Like, for example, in the last few months, you almost have noticed all the Ubers. I'm not sure about Ola, but Ubers definitely have these two emergency buttons
Yeah.
in the center, right? So for me today, if something happens to me inside the car, that's my go-to, SOS. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but it just gives me a certain level of comfort as a woman. I know that's the first thing I can do before calling somebody, right? So had it ended on a note where they are amplifying a feature like that, maybe it would have still landed for me saying that, I don't know, maybe an alarm goes off if
Mm.
I press that. Maybe the police is notified when I press that. That's like a solution for me.
I felt like it was very strong on the emotion, but that's it. That's it. And how much does emotion really land? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know at this point.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
In fact, for me, when Vedanti was just saying the functional part of it, if they showed me what it's going to do, I would have liked to see that
Hmm.
better in a piece of content. Interest,
A good mix of emotional and functional ads. Yeah,
yeah. Rather than just saying, "Oh, Uber has your back, Ola has your
yeah.
back."
Slightly slower pieces of ads. Like, what do you think on that? Like, do all ads have to now be like a 15 second? What do you think? Like, is that where we're headed now? Like, no room for these slow cut ads?
Most researchers from sectors for brands, it looks like everyone is just through the phone, going at a hyper speed through the phone, and pieces of content are just getting absorbed just like that.
आज मूड नहीं कर रहा, इसे कल देखते हैं इस काम को। अभी क्या है, अभी मैं फोन उठाकर थोड़ा इंस्टाग्राम पे रिलैक्स करता हूँ, स्क्रॉल करता हूँ।
I think good quality pieces of content still has value.
Yeah.
The problem from my perspective is there is so much noise. There is so many brands doing similar communication, just sort of stories in just slight tweaks.
Yeah. Not this wasn't fresh. I agree. Wasn't
Yeah.
fresh. Not fresh.
You are not involved with it so much that you wanna still see it through the end anymore, unless it's a really unique piece of content, right?
Longer form of ads, and I was just trying to jog my memory and think about the last decade. Which ad really stuck, which was like a 1 minute or even more for that matter. I'm unable to. I'm still going back to the Fevicol days, I feel. You know.
1 minute.
So, yeah, so I feel like anything creating content is one thing, under that, ads is a part of it, right? When you talk about content by itself, not ads, long form content is still something that content creators would vouch for in terms of creating like a fan base, loyal fan base. But what really creates a community today is the long form content. That's where people come back to you again and again for. For example, the 3 hour
Okay.
Nikhil Kamath podcast,
This is very irrelevant, but I think a year ago or something, I keep searching in YouTube for pieces of content, and somehow I ended up finding a vlog for a Korean girl who mostly does her dieting tips and skincare routine. Way away from my points of interest, right? But the way she did it, I was just interested in the food parts, what she eats in a day. That I'm not in her audience section at all, nowhere. But the way she packaged it, every video was, I don't know, 14, 15 minutes, what she was eating, how she went to a supermarket to buy things. And that sort of made me think about how I was buying my groceries as well. Engaging with your audience again and again, even if they're not your intended audience, I think it's a very good way of storytelling till date. So I just wanted to follow up on what Vedanti was saying.
Like, if I were to do something, I would say just let her wear a t-shirt that says Uber and talk about one experience and funny it up and jazz it up. So
Yeah.
would make a better piece of long form content, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I agree
Google is
with that.
very Zomato and Ola is very Swiggy. I don't know if that helps.
क्या बात ये बात है
It makes sense actually.
it
I can
does.
relate to that.
Nice analogy. Should we move to rating this ad? I would give it a 2, and that's because I felt like this was a lost opportunity.
Hmm.
Like, I only watched it. Formula use kiya hai. You've used a comedian which attracts views. You've used the soft emotional angle for the soft emotional message, and you've just integrated your product. Like, played too safe. I
Hmm.
get you're doing safety, but too safe. So I felt like lost opportunity, man. Like, so 2 for me.
I
So
would give it a 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely not a 2. I'm wondering why you hated it so much.
Maybe
So I
because maybe because you know the artist, the stand-up comedian.
probably I was gonna say that.
Probably, yeah, makes sense. 5-2 for Shreeja, 2 for the effort, 1 for, I don't know, my love for Uber. What did disappoint me was the final, messaging.
Hmm.
Didn't land. I mean, they could have done better. Lost opportunity, like you said. So, like, just minusing 50% of the marks for that.
I would also go for a 3 max.
Oh, let's go.
Mostly because there is no relatable points for me, like the person who did it and all this stuff. But I'm someone who likes it more functional. I
Hmm.
need to see what comes out of this rather than only the messaging or only the storytelling bits. Personally, I couldn't see it. Like I said, it
Yeah.
felt like, okay, here's the story. This is what happened. This is what we need to be aware of. I understand that. Then at the end, slapped on the logo Uber and said, oh, wow, okay,
Yeah.
we're done now. It would have been much better. The communication would have been much more clearer, I feel.
Before we end, Jyoti, would you like to tell us about?
Happy to even have a chill conversation about advertising, diving, adventures, whatever. Always there to chill out. And Purple
Right.
Juice Creative, yes.
Purple
Uh,
Juice Creative, yes, I had
that's
written
a
it down.
that's a new platform that's coming across, similar to what Parikshit is trying to do here, but I'm trying to go into much more conservation related topics, marine
Hmm.
conservation,
Hmm.
Oh,
brands,
wow.
clothing brands that do not have an ecological damage, and more stuff like that. We are still working on that, networking happening. Stay tuned, more stuff happening.
So,
Well, this was
yeah,
really nice,
great.
Parshit. Great curation. Thank you once
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
And yeah,
you. Cheers.
Yes, thanks, guys. I will reach out to you again. This platform is always available. Even if, say, tomorrow you'd like to come again, come with a friend, come with an acquaintance, come with a date, everyone's welcome. We love
Everything.
opinion. Everything is welcome. We are just here to review ads, react on content because there's an explosion that's going on right now and I want to be a part of it. So, on that note, thank you for joining. We love you. Let's make ads great again. And this adventure is not going to stop ever.